service.
After we were married, I played in the various championships and Margot tagged along. I think she found it all a bit much. Hospitality outside this country can be pretty exhausting.
Yeah.
When we got back, she tried to persuade me to give up tennis and play husband instead. In the end, we compromised. I went alone to America for the grass court season and returned after the national championships. I soon realized a lot had happened while I was away. For one thing, she wasn't in love with me anymore. There were phone calls that would end abruptly if I happened to walk in. And there was an old school friend she used to visit from time to time. Then one day we had a row. I wanted to play the covered court tournament, and as usual, she didn't want me to go. I was in the bedroom. The phone rang. It was all pretty urgent, it sounded. After that, she seemed rather keen that I should play in that tournament after all, so I packed my kids into the car and drove off. I parked the car 2 streets away and walked back on my tracks. 10 minutes later, she came out of this house and took a taxi. I took another. Her old school friend lived in a studio in Chelsea. I could see them through the studio window as he cooked spaghetti over a gas ring. But they didn't say much. They just looked very natural together. Funny how you can tell when people are in love.
Yes.
Then I started to walk. I began to wonder what would happen if she left me. I'd have to find some way of earning a living to begin with. Suddenly, I realized how much I'd grown to depend on her. All these expensive tastes I'd acquired while I was at the top. And now big tennis had finished with me, and so apparently had my wife. I can't ever remember being so scared. I dropped into a pub and had a few drinks. As I sat in the corner, I thought of all sorts of things. I thought of 3 different ways of killing him. I even thought of killing her. Now that seemed a far more sensible idea. Yeah. And just as I was working out how I could do it, I suddenly saw something which completely changed my mind. I didn't go to that tournament after all. When I got back, she was sitting exactly where you are now. I told her I decided to give up tennis and look after her instead. As things turned out, I needn't have got so worked up after all. Apparently that spaghetti evening had been a sort of fond farewell. The boyfriend had been called back to New York.
An American.
Yes.
everything.
Yeah, what will you do then?
I'm to phone Scotland Yard. They're standing by for my call now.
And Mrs. Windus?
We'll have nothing else to fear.
All right, Margot?
Yes, I'm all right.
Quiet now, you two.
Careful. He's gone round to the garden. He'll see the broken glass.